Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Griswold High School, where tonight your Wolverines host the Bassick Lions out of Bridgeport. I'm Kevin Thompson. Alongside me is Ted Koziol, Mike Minarski, of course, producing tonight. And Ted, this is an interesting game. Like you said, it's something that you've been trying to get Steve to schedule for years, and now they're coming all the way up from Bridgeport to Griswold to play green on green.
I think Bassick they're kind of on the rise a little bit from where they've been the last few years, but it's here, and it's nice to see how we're going to stack up against the other end of the state tonight.
It's funny because when I was doing research for the game, I went online and looked at some of the comments from the coach, and he was saying that they're a young rising team, but all their stars are juniors and seniors. So I'm not really sure what he meant by that, but and they've actually, in the two last real football seasons in 18-19 and 19-20, they were combined 1-19, but they've already won one game this year.
Right. They've struggled, and you figure from a town like Bridgeport, a lot of diversity, a lot of athletes, kids coming in and out, and you figured that they would be a solid program. And I think it's just a matter of them solidifying some solid coaches and getting the kids to come out and play.
And they play in the Southern Connecticut Conference, which has 21 teams.
Yes. And that's, they have the Alliance, I think, is part of the ACC with that. And they do have a tough schedule themselves. I mean, that also, plays into the fact why they were 1-19 for the last 2 years, or the last 3 years, right? I guess if you want to call it that. They play some pretty large schools down at that end of the state. So,
yeah, they lost to Wilbercross 48-12, lost to Johnny Law out of Milford 42-18, won against Bridgeport Central 24-18, and lost their last game 54-8 to Capital.
Yeah, and Capital is a shell of what they used to be. So if that tells you anything, that the Capital Prep Achievement First co-op, they were on the radar as one of the top teams, in the state for a while, and then the recruiting thing kind of settled in a little bit, and kids aren't in there as much, but
they still play in a competitive league, competitive division, and it should be. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Griswold has a legitimate chance to keep improving on their season tonight.
Yeah, and your Wolverines come in tonight having lost their first 3 games of the season by a combined score of 136-15.
Yeah, and that hurts. That hurts. I think we're breaking here for the National Anthem.
We are breaking for the National Anthem, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare above bursting and gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, I'll tell you, it was nice to actually hear that through the PA system here at Griswold High School tonight. Ray Churchill does a fantastic job with the Griswold Chamber Choir, and usually they have some audio troubles down on the field. They moved onto the track tonight, so things are a little bit closer, maybe up to the press box. So it was very beautifully done.
There is that wireless range,
right?
That you have, so,
and
even in your house.
And I'm sure that the pole on the 50-yard line is probably a very big barrier, not only for the eye but also for the sound.
which for those of you that may be joining us for the first time, you can see the pole right in the middle of the field. It also obstructs our view from being able to call the game. So from time to time, we'll be like, we think that was so-and-so.
And if you are watching online, it looks like a split screen, but that is not a split screen. It is a figment of your imagination. It is a big, gigantic light pole on the 50.
All right, so Griswold's going to kick off to Bassick here. So the Wolverines will be on defense to start.
So I saw a number, 71, from Bassick, and he was ginormous. For those of you, you'll see him very soon. Very, very large individual.
Cameron Staniski to kick off here. He's a senior. People stomping their feet in the stands, and we're ready to go. It's away. Oh, little squib kick to the right. It goes by one Bassick player, but it looks like it went out of bounds. So that's going to be a flag on the play. That'll be a 5-yard extra gain for Bassick on the kickoff, which looks like it went out about the 37. So they'll probably start about the 42, 43, somewhere in that neighborhood. Their own 42, 43.
Yeah, so there's so many options on where to take that ball now, where it goes out, re-kick it with a 5-yard penalty, or take the ball, I think, at the 35. So they opted to take it, I think, where the ball went out of bounds.
I think they actually moved it up 5 yards from where it went out. So, ish. I think it's going to be the 41 based on where the official's standing. All right, some of the players for the Lions that to keep an eye on. Jerry Torres, number 3. He's one of their go-to guys. Also have Nashawn Scott. He's a wide receiver for them. Jerry Torres is their quarterback. And then Joey Rivera on defense. Yeah, all right. I counted that, right? 42. I did my math.
Close enough. Blame it on the pole.
All right. Bassick looks like they're in the shotgun here. Running back to the right of the quarterback. Snaps away, hands off, going to the left now. Comes back around to the right. He's backpedaling. Gets by one tackle. Comes across. Gets back up to the line of scrimmage, and he's out of bounds. That's about a 5-yard gain at the 47.
No idea what happened there. His lane was cut off, and he went 15 yards backwards. You had 2 Griswold players in pursuit that ended up running over each other. But that was not a very well executed play by Bassick there. Their running back, give it to him. 100% of that 5-yard gain was him.
Giovanni Torres on that carry. I'm assuming that's a brother to the quarterback.
I would assume so, yeah. And it looks like, they have what you could call an H-back in the backfield. A very number is he there, KTZ. Number 50-something. He looks like an offensive lineman, and it looks like they're going to try to ride his coattails.
60-something. We'll get that number for you.
It looks like they're going to try to ride his coattails a little bit tonight.
There we go. Snap away. Looks like he's going to pass this time. Oh, he rolls out to his left. He's being chased, and they bring him down right at the yard marker. We'll see if he got the first down based on the spot.
So one thing you're going to see tonight, it looks very apparent that you've got some shifty, very athletic kids from Bassick between the tailback and the quarterback, and tackling is going to have to be key tonight. The Griswold defenders are not going to be able to drop their heads. They're not going to be able to over-pursue. They're going to have to take the correct angles and wrap these guys up. There's going to have to be gang tackling tonight to stop these backs from eluding tackles, which, really they've done so far for the first 2 plays and a gain of 10 yards, 11 yards over 2 plays.
They gave him the first down there, so they're now in Griswold territory at the 48. Snap to the quarterback, and they take him down for a loss. Nice play there. Aiden Peltier penetrating and for the loss. Looks like he lost about 3 there, 2. They'll give him a loss of 2, so it'll be 2nd and 12.
We've got a score update from Stonington at the end of the first quarter. Stonington Bears 7, Killingley Redmond 6.
So it'll be a good game tonight.
Yeah, and we know, they're on the day.com, but, one of the things with Stonington and Killingley, it's 2 very run-heavy teams. And you'll see Killingley here in a couple weeks against Griswold. You'd already seen Stonington earlier in the year.
All right, we got 2nd down and 12. Snaps away. It's dropping back. It's going off to the right. And the pass is incomplete. Way overthrown. They were looking for a penalty there.
Looked like good coverage there by number 4 from Griswold. I think that's Kincaid Rubino. Number 21 there from Bassick was looking for a penalty, but the contact was incidental. I think they were both making a play on the ball.
Samaj James on the wide receiver there on that pass play.
One thing that Griswold did very well against New London, the last game they played, you had the combination of John Dugan and Danny Sims on the defensive line. They were basically clogging up tackle to tackle and did a fantastic job of pushing the backs into the ends. And you've got senior Zach Confer on one end. And today I think you actually have, is it number 77 for Griswold? Is that A.J. Hamill on one end?
There's a snap on 3rd and 12. Quarterback scrambling out to his left. He's going to try to run it and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up 4th down and 10.
That was a tackle by number 2 from Griswold there.
Nice tackle by Kyle
Montigny.
And
again, one of those tackles where, a bigger, faster Bassick player going up against a smaller Griswold defender. Kyle came in right at his legs, took his legs out. It was a great tackle.
Looks like they're going to go for it here, Ted.
Yeah, if you've watched Griswold, and I think if Griswold's watched Bassick, it's going to be a battle of field position. And, this isn't a bad play here, I don't think. Midfield, beginning of the game, knowing, both teams could potentially be struggling. I would say I'd have to go for it as well.
It looks like they have a different personnel set out there, though. So I wonder if they were just...
Yeah, and they're going to call a false start. They're going to call a procedure penalty here. Oh, they call it delay game.
Yeah.
So
you got to delay instead of pushing back 5 yards, and they're probably going to punt it away now.
Now the decision becomes a little bit easier. You get an opportunity to pin Griswold, possibly back deep in their own territory.
4th and 14, and Bassick will punt it away.
One thing, you don't know if another town has a punter, somebody that you're not familiar playing with. They have a very short snap here. So, Griswold has an opportunity with a 5-yard snap to potentially block this punt, but
punts away. Rubino fields it, breaks one tackle. Oh, couldn't get away from the shoestring tackle, and there's a flag on the play.
You're going to get a block in the back against Griswold.
So that'll walk it back. So it looks like he went down at the 24, so they're probably starting at about the 14-yard line on their opening drive here for the Wolverines. Just about 8 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. It's still 0-0.
So one thing that's got to happen tonight is if you want to have a chance at winning this game and progressing and continuing on to get better in the season, you've got to limit the silly penalties. Block in the back on a punt, you're chasing the defender down the field if you're the return team. You got to let them go. You can't do silly penalties and get halfway decent field position and now pin yourself, inside your own 15-yard line to start.
All right, Wolverines come out. Looks like we got a single back Kessler behind Cassidy here to start.
The one thing that I will say about Griswold is that their line is definitely
that looks
bigger.
like a legal motion here on Griswold.
False start, yep.
False start.
Outside of number 71 for Bassick, Griswold's interior line is definitely much larger than Bassick. And if they can utilize their feet and get good position, they should be able to drive the ball downfield. The addition of Kessler gives you an extra step in the backfield for sure, either getting inside or outside. And Bassick has some speed here, but I would still say, Kyle Kessler is definitely one of the faster players on this field tonight.
All right, here we go. First down at 15 now. Hand off to Kessler over the right-hand side. He breaks out on the outside. He's going down the right side. He's at midfield. Here he goes. 40, 30, 20,
and it's going to be a
10,
Griswold touchdown.
Touchdown. No flags.
Oh, and there's a flag on the
at
sidelines of the Griswold sideline. It's going to be a warning. It should not bring it back, but it looks like the coaching staff and the entire team were inside the official's box. Anytime an official makes contact with a player or a coach on the sideline, you're going to get a penalty. You're going to get a sideline warning. After that, a penalty will be assessed. But again, we talked about the difference that Kyle Kessler can make right before he just took off for an 86-yard touchdown run.
91.
Sorry. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was the penalty. A 91-yard touchdown run. And again, I think I was right to say he is the fastest kid on the field tonight. 21 was Bassick's fastest player, and Kyle just had a second gear there.
All right, here we go for the extra point.
And that actually gives Griswold their first lead of the season.
Rubino here. Make the attempt. Looked like it went wide to the left. So that'll make it 6-0 here with 7:46 to go in the first quarter. Griswold, as Ted just said, with their first lead of the season. 91-yard scamper by Kessler. And you were just talking about it, Ted, and boom, he's gone.
There he goes. And truthfully, this is something I think that they could certainly do again tonight, without a doubt. They're at some point they're going to start to key on Kessler, but you have Kyle Montigny, you have a couple other backs to utilize, even from a power perspective. And one thing Griswold has to do is do not take your foot off the pedal. This is a game that you score 20 or you score 60. You don't stop. Build momentum, build on what they've been working on. And, hey, this is a positive start. And they, a lot of football left here, though. A lot of football. But again, we said it before. Silly mistakes. You can't let another team back into the game by making silly mistakes, penalties, whatever it may be.
Siniski to kick off. See what he does on this one. Kind of squibbed the first one off to the right, went out of bounds. Kicks that one down the middle. Picked up at about the 23. Running it down the left-hand side. He's breaking a few tackles. Gets over the 40 to about the 42, 43-yard line, which is where the Lions will start their drive.
So that's a safe kick. Kick into a team as a whole that could be quicker than you. Just trying to not allow a big kickoff return to get back into this game and let Griswold's defense kind of do their thing again.
All right, we'll see what Bassick comes out with this time around on their second drive. Starting at the same spot pretty much as they did on the first drive.
Almost, right? Actually, almost to the yard line. They are on the 42. I think that's where they were last time. You're absolutely right.
The pole is literally in the way. I cannot see the ball. So, as we were talking about, you cannot see it on YouTube either.
Bassick, and Bassick has called a timeout. I think they're looking to have the pole moved for the play. We'll see what happens here. So I guess,
Ted, when they call a timeout in a situation like this where it's this early, they just got scored on, is it coach is trying to emphasize here, hey, listen, we need to grind this out. We need to get some positive yardage here.
Yeah, I mean, you think that, they could have potentially come out in a wrong formation. Somebody may not have known what they were doing, but you're probably settling your team down and saying, hey, look, let's execute. We need to go, north-south here. Let's try to drive the ball straight forward. Trust your running back, let him trust his line and his blockers. And I'd be reminding my team again, hey, I know it's 6-0, but guess what? We just started. There's so much football left. So, you don't know the mentality of the kids. I mean, if they're younger football players or more green, more new, they may need a little bit more positive encouragement.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10, Bassick starting their second drive of the night. There's the snap, and he's going to run to the right. Doesn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be about a half yard short of that. That was a little bit of a gang tackle there.
So the one place he wants to not go is right back into the strength of Griswold's defense, which is right over Danny Sims and John Dugan, right on your interior of the line there.
Zach Confer also in on that tackle.
Yep, Zach Confer. And, at some point here tonight, I think what we'll have to do is with it being homecoming, we'll have to give the seniors a big shout-out tonight. playing in their last homecoming game, which I'm sure, they were sophomores the last homecoming game that was played here, and now they're seniors. So time has flown by.
The blitz on that play goes deep down the right sideline, way overthrown, uncatchable ball. And again, the wide receiver from Bassick is complaining.
So the thing is, you've got, Kincaid was in great position on number 20, and he is certainly outmatched size-wise. And, they're both pursuing the ball. Kincaid was actually playing deeper than the receiver. The ball was sailed over his head by 10 yards at least. And Cade was just chasing it down the way that he should, and 21 bumped into him. It's not pass interference. If it's anything, it would be offensive pass interference, not defensive pass interference. But the right call was made. It was a no call, and second down, or actually it's 3rd down and 11.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 11 here. It's a snap, drops back, looks to his over the middle on the seam route, and there's nothing there. A little overthrown.
Well, it looked like it was a tip ball by Kyle Kessler, just enough to get it over the head of number 8 there from Bassick.
Unfortunately, we do not have an 8 on their roster.
So we have a handmade roster, which I love. It's multicolor and fantastic.
Little orange, little red, little green, little black. 'Tis the season. Black and orange for Halloween, and
on the yellow folder.
Green and red for Christmas, right? All right, here we go. Punting it away again, and got Rubino and Kessler back deep.
Got to give a good pressure here. If they can do that, get some height in the middle and
high snap.
Yep.
Oh, almost didn't get it off. Almost got a piece there. They're going to let it drop. It's a short punt. It takes a Bassick bounce, and they'll down it at about the 27-yard line. That's where Griswold will start their second drive.
So are we thinking another run on the outside to Kessler? They're on the far right hash this time. Could they come back left hash with Kessler?
I was just going to ask that question. You went student body right the first time. Do you go student body left this time?
And Coach Wilcox is a big fan of running to the short side of the field too. So I mean, you can't necessarily say he's going to go one way or the other. Logic would tell you, you've tested the right on the first play. Let's test the left on the second side. On the second play, and see what they can do. You're coming to number 71 side. They are running twins to the left here. It is possible that they could be running off some defenders to make a toss sweep outside to Kessler. And if they toss sweep to the left, he's got one guy to beat.
It's a snap. Kessler running.
And that's the one guy that he
left,
had to beat.
And there we go. He's getting outside. He's up to the 40, midfield, and out of bounds in Bassick territory at the 48.
So you had a defensive end there that was actually it's probably an outside linebacker that was coming in, on an angle, and Kyle put a good move on him to get to the outside. At some point they're going to figure this out, and they're going to have to send either a back or some sort of pulling lineman to pick that outside linebacker up. But good run by Kyle.
Nice 25-yard gain there. 2 plays, and he already has over 100 yards.
And again, I mean, you can still continue to get to the edge. Bassick is doing nothing to stop the edge. They're basically in a 4. It's almost like a 3-man front. They're running like a 3-5 defense.
Going and to the right side this time.
Yeah, and the linebackers are just playing catch. And Kyle's able to get to second level, and he's going to continue to do this all night until they start to make an adjustment on defense.
Over the right side, all the way down to the 29. So that's another 19-yard gain.
Again, and, Kyle's built for this type of game. I mean, he could carry the ball 30, 35 times tonight if he needs to and have some of them be downfield runs. We saw it right away, 91-yard touchdown run. Most human beings would probably want to sit on the bench for a few minutes and catch their breath, but Kyle was right back out there on defense again and back out there on offense.
All right, here we go. First down at the 29 of Bassick. There's a snap. Hand off this time up the middle. Kessler spins, goes off to his right, picks up a yard on that play. That'll bring up 2nd 9.
So you've got Ethan Frazier split out here on the wide left. and they're giving him a lot of respect. They're giving him a good 8 to 10 yard cushion. One of the things that you would think Bassick would figure out is, hey, Griswold's got a freshman playing quarterback. You're not going to get a 50, 60 yard, bomb throw here in the air. I would tighten up my coverage a little bit if I were Bassick to try to shut this run down some.
He's going in student body left this time. He gets to the outside, fakes to the inside, gets inside the 20. And he's down there. Might be just shy of the first down, maybe right at the 20.
Just short.
Oh, they moved him back a little bit. They moved him back a whole yard. He certainly had the 20 there.
Now, the question is, it's third down and about 2. Do you bring in some sort of power play? You've got Ryan Palillo into the game. Could Griswold go into their traditional double wing and try to power the ball up the middle, run off tackle, but stay inside? Looks like they've got their power back in Palillo.
Here's a snap. Little screen pass there. That doesn't quite work out.
Little dump
Bassick
pass.
read that one.
And you had number 4, Cade Rubino, streaking up the right sideline, completely uncovered. If Luke Cassidy could have seen him, touchdown without a doubt. Your Coach Wilcox here, you're definitely going for it. You're inside the 30-yard line of Bassick. No sense in even punting. Maybe you can try to go on a second cadence and try to shorten up the distance, but I think you're going to see some sort of pass here, especially with Kessler not in the offensive backfield at this point.
So 4th and 9 on the 7-yard loss. It's a snap. Rolling to his left, gets it to. Is that Kessler?
That is number 2.
Number 2. All right, there we go.
Kyle Montague. Yeah, and it's gonna be tough to throw a short little screen or a short little touch pass and try to pick up 10 yards. But again, completing passes is still part of the progression for a freshman quarterback, and a young team. Good offensive series, by Griswold, no doubt. And they need to continue to do what they're doing and keep the defensive part going as well.
All right, so Bassick will take over on downs at their own 26-yard line. Kessler already has 143 yards on the ground. Oh, there's a snap. He's throwing it off to the right. It's caught. But no, it's actually incomplete. Nice stick.
I think they're going to call that complete, but ball jarring loose on the tackle after he's on the ground. And they are.
But the ball was just rolling loose. Nobody recovered it, so that's a bit odd. Okay. They're going to give him a 3-yard gain on that up to the 29.
A little confused there, I think, but
unless you're saying the ball didn't come out until he was on the ground.
Yeah, and that could be the only play, really.
All right, here we go. 2nd down and 7.
Going to get a
motion from the left.
Yeah, and they're going to have to. Everybody's going to have to reset here. That was an awful sloppy formation.
Rolling to his right. Gets by one guy, 2 guys, gets up over the 35, right about where the yard marker is for the first down. So this will be close as to whether he made it or not. It's on the far side of the field from the yard marker, so I don't know if they'll have a good visual for that. Yeah, they're giving him the first down, so it'll be first down for Bassick at their own 37. Torres has really been most of their offense tonight.
He has. It doesn't look as if they have, too many weapons except the quarterback, the one running back, and they're going to the receiver there, number 21. That seems about all that they are trying to do at this point.
Here's a snap. He's looking to his right, back to his left. Oh, nice rush. Gets it over the middle. Intercepted. Rubino catches it off the tip. and we brought down at the Griswold 47.
He's not the biggest kid, but I will tell you, he plays like a monster. He is not going to back down against anybody. He's got the assignment at number 21 tonight, and, it's in the right place at the right time.
I think that was Zach Comfort coming in from the outside. It kind of looked like he hit the quarterback's arm just as he was letting it go.
Yep, and, anything where there's a tip ball, as soon as that tip happens, too, there's no pass interference. It's anybody's game at that point.
All right, Griswold will take over on the turnover. Their third possession of the night. Cassidy turns to Kessler and lets him know what's going on, and then there's a whistle. Not sure what the referee is signaling there.
Could be equipment, could be
Yeah,
blood,
they're making Dugan come out.
could be combination of anything why he had to come out for a play.
And that's Tyler Scourin's going to go in. Gets in there, and Danny Sims lets him know what's going on. So it looks like we're ready to roll. Was his chin strap? Something up with his chin strap?
Yeah,
or
it looks
something?
like he might have got it under the throat. I mean, the trainer was looking at him real quick, but he seems to be in good shape.
There's a
now.
nice pass in the flat, and that's complete.
It's to number 9 for Griswold.
That's Aiden Peltier.
Aiden Peltier with a nice catch.
That looks like it's about a gain of 6 or 7. That'll be a gain of 6. Second down at 4.
Little score update for those at home. 12-7, Killingly over Stonington right now. Jack Sharp with 2 touchdown runs. 12-7 Killingly. They are still in the second quarter.
So I'm from Killingly, and I was at the game they played against Lewis Mills.
Okay.
Lewis Mills scores a touchdown, gets a 2-point conversion,
50 points
8-0.
later, yeah.
54 points unanswered points. Jack Sharp scores 4 touchdowns.
He's a monster for sure.
There's a snap. He's looking to his left. He's going deep to Rubino. Rubino jumps, makes the catch. Nice catch, brought down at the 28 of Bassick.
I'm sure Coach Wilcox is telling Luke, don't float that ball. Put a little pepper on it, get it flat. Lack of awareness there by Bassick of where the ball was. But, again, 21 matched up against Kincaid Rubino. Cade with a nice catch. First down, Griswold,
25-yard gain.
Can't complain about that.
That was what, in my day, they called a wounded duck.
Wounded duck. I lost it because I was standing where the pole blocked where it took off, and I saw it settle right into Cade's hands.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 28 of Bassick. There's a snap. Cassidy over the right-hand side. Cuts up the middle, does a little spin move, gets down to about the 22.
One of the things, Kyle, as a former running back coach up here at Griswold, is spinning, a little too much spinning. Once you're committed to that inside, you're closing down on defenders. A good football team is going to catch you on a spin. And, once you're stuck in the middle there, you got to turn yourself into a power runner. Drop your shoulder and initiate contact. You go against a team like Killingly that has some solid middle linebackers, you're going to want to avoid doing that for sure.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. 6-0. Wolverines have a lead heading into the second quarter. They're going to switch ends of the field. So Wolverines ball, second in about 2 or 3 from the 21-ish of Bassick.
I guess while we got a break, maybe fire off the names of some of these seniors
absolutely.
from Griswold. And
So it's homecoming night. If you missed that, if you're just joining us, we talked about that briefly in the beginning. So the senior Ethan Frazier, he's somebody that Coach already talked about on offense that they're keeping a close eye on. And then you have senior Ryan Palillo, senior Tyler Farwell, senior Cameron Staniski, senior Zach Confer. He's had some impact on the game already. Senior Isaiah Heikela, senior John Dugan, senior Aaron Hamill, And that'll do it for the seniors. So those are our seniors here on homecoming night. As Coach said, every football team in Connecticut, didn't really have a homecoming last year. So a lot of these kids, it's their first homecoming.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 years.
It has, and even, the way that COVID has impacted things, again, I'll still go back to what we said on the opening night broadcast. These kids are just so excited to be out here. Win, lose, or tie, it doesn't matter. They're playing football. They're enjoying it. And it's good to see everybody back out here, the stands and the players.
It's a screen pass, bubble screen to the wide receiver. And maybe got a yard out of that, maybe-ish. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. So Rubino was trying to break that tackle, but couldn't quite get away. So we'll bring up third and 3. We'll say 3rd and 3 here. Just starting the second quarter, if you're joining us, Griswold scored on a 91-yard scamper by Kyle Kessler on their first play from the line of scrimmage in the first quarter. So Griswold up 6-0.
So it looks like Tyler Farwell, known as Tank, he's still in street clothes. I know he got hurt in the offseason, I think, over the summertime, and re-aggravated or re-injured his knee during warm-ups of the Ledyard game. And he's an impact player on both sides of the ball, and I'm curious as to whether or not they're going to get him back this season.
Kessler off tackle there, gets down to the 20, so that'll bring up 4th down and 2. No question if you're going for it here.
Yeah, I would say you are. I think, you just try to pound the middle. Pound the middle, get the 2 yards, pound the middle.
So without Farwell, who are they going to use to be the tank?
You've got Kyle Monkendy is a small kid, but he runs pretty hard. Truthfully, I think you're giving the ball to Kessler here, and you're running over Danny Sims. You're running right behind him and John Dugan. I mean, you've got, a couple 100 pounds of beef on the right line. You go right behind them. And that's where
a quarterback keeper.
Exactly where Cassidy
And then Kessler comes right up behind him.
Yeah.
To give him some momentum, push him ahead. That's a easy first down. Gains a couple yards beyond the marker. So it'll be first down at the Bassick 18.
And if Luke Cassidy gets under center and he's not seeing a nose, he's gonna wait for the line just to establish and then find a gap, and that's exactly what he did. That's the play. The next play is, obviously you can run Kessler right behind, about 500 plus pounds of man behind Dugan and Sims.
Something like having a quarter ton at your disposal.
You know what? You're absolutely right. And 78 playing center tonight for Griswold is Aaron Hamill, and he's about the same size. So, Luke Cassidy picked the right side of the line to run behind.
Kessler to the left. It's inside the 15, inside the 10. He gets down to about the 5, and he's out of bounds.
Kyle Montague with a great seal block on the end there that allowed Kessler to get to the outside. And again, sophomore, Kyle Montague, small kid, but blocked a kid that was definitely much bigger than him and was able to help break free Kessler to the outside.
Looks like gave him all the way down to the 3, Ted, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 3.
So one of the things, this is, again, you have an opportunity to go up by 2 scores here. It's discipline. It's no false start penalties. You've got to do everything right. You need 3 yards, and you've got a hot running back in the backfield to just stuff it right behind.
It's a snap. Turns around, hands it to Kessler.
Untouched.
He's in.
Untouched.
Touchdown, Wolverines.
That's behind Sims, Dugan, and Hamill. And you had your wing back basically as a lead blocker for Kessler. Kessler untouched. And again, I think Coach Wilcox is going to go for 2 here. You could probably come back right with the same play. Bassick doesn't look to be making any adjustments. They had too many linebackers off the line of scrimmage on that play. And, if they're going to stick in the 3-man front, or even if their goal line defense is a 4, the linebackers are 5 yards off the ball. It looks as if they've moved up a little bit, but they're still very, very light on the right side of the Griswold line.
2-point attempt. They're going to throw it to Kessler, and it's incomplete. So that'll make it No good on the 2-point attempt, but there is a flag on the ground.
You're going to get rough in the passer, I think, here. Yeah.
Yep, that's the motion.
So, again, now you got the ball in the 1.5. I think you go right back to your touchdown play. Speed kills, and you run that speed right behind your beef, and you go, especially from the 1.5. I think it's really a no-brainer at this point.
Roughing the passer, called against the Lions.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. So as coach said, that it's going to put the ball at the distance, which is like what, the 1 1/4 yard line?
1.5. I mean, and the play here is not a Cassidy sneak. The play is Kyle Kessler off right tackle. Danny Sims and Dugan are owning that side of the line of scrimmage. I mean, there's no doubt.
Seems like they try to get a little tricky on that first attempt, which you don't really need to do in this
right.
case.
I mean, vanilla is a good flavor for a reason, right? So just keep it nice and simple. And again, Dugan and Sims just have these guys outmatched on that side of the ball. And you just, even one step to the left with Hamill, you just push these guys right back, and they're going right to it, right back to the same play. Again,
Kessler's in, untouched.
I mean, that is the play. Until they make an adjustment to it, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I think you could probably run that play 5 times in a row, and the same thing is going to happen.
8:47 left to go here in the first half. 14-0, Wolverines on top, and they'll be kicking off, heading in the opposite direction, left to right.
And I want to defend Bassick. They're not a slouch of a team. They've got some speed. They've got some athletic kids. They've got some size. They may be young. Griswold's young as well. So it's I think this is really a game of 2 evenly matched teams, to be honest with you. The score may not show that at the end, but or even right now. But these teams are very evenly matched from a quantity and as well as a kind of size perspective.
All right, 14-0. Griswold with a 2-touchdown lead here. We're going to kick it off.
So I saw Coach Pat Smith here on my way down and was talking to him briefly. And, we came to the consensus that the Thanksgiving Day game is going to be a very unique game this year. Plainfield's on a down year. Griswold's on a down year. But, when Plainfield and Griswold play each other, anything can happen.
I don't really know what happened there because the ball kind of blocked our view. Did he kick it and catch it?
It looked like he might have missed it and then kicked it again. But either way, I don't, Griswold did touch the ball within 10 yards. So I think it's still going to be Bassick's ball at the first point in which they touched it the second time. So the white hat looks like he's standing on the 43-yard line or so. Yeah, but it looks like he muffed the kick and then kicked it again. So it would go back to where it was touched the second time.
Let's see what they're going to do here. Yeah, they look like there was a little beanbag at the 43, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's called the first touch. Once Griswold touches it again, even if Bassick were to fumble, the ball comes back to the bag. I mean, the whole thing works on a punt where, you punt the ball downfield, the kid walks up and puts his hand on it and walks away. The receiving team can pick it up and run with it. And if they fumble it, it comes back right to the point of first touch. And the same thing would apply here.
All right, first down Bassick here at the Griswold 43. It's a direct snap to the running back, and he cuts to the left and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Another great tackle there by Zach Confer and number 9. For Griswold, Aiden Peltier.
Confer's been all over the place.
And Zach's doing a great job of keeping the edge and not letting anybody outside and forcing it back into the middle of the Wolverine defense. They're back in that formation where they have an H-back for Bassick.
2nd and 10 here. Low snap. Looking to throw deep. It's short, and it falls to the ground, incomplete. That'll make it 3rd and 10 here for the Lions. Not quite sure why he, from the shotgun, dropped back so far on that.
Adding an extra 7-8 yards to your throw,
Which is about what he was short.
Yeah, and Griswold's playing off the off the receivers. They're not playing in press coverage. They're about 10 yards off. So, out of shotgun, it could just be a quick set for your feet and throw. But they're not employing that theory.
Torres rolling to the left. Nice tackle. That'll stop him short there. Aiden Peltier again. And that'll make it 4th and about 7 for Bassick.
Bassick's quarterback can throw. I think if you're looking just to do some quick short outs, you're going to get a little bit more out of those than you are, trying to heave it downfield, really. And, you got some tall receivers. Make Griswold pull up on you. Make him come up and cover you a little bit tighter. But it's not happening. And that's okay. It's an advantage for Griswold. They're going to be able to play 10 yards off the ball and be able to see the play kind of form in front of them.
They're going for it here on 4th and 7. Lions looking to convert.
And they got nobody covering. Yep, nobody's covering up on number 21.
James catches the ball just beyond the markers, so that'll be a 1st down for Bassick at the 30. They're calling him down. I heard the whistle.
A little cross up there. They're in shotgun. It looks like they're going to punt. They're in the same depth from a shotgun. And they had number 21 split out, nobody covering them. At that point, you either burn a timeout or somebody's got to come up. If you got a dual punt return implored, you got to bring somebody up to cover.
There was no one within 10 yards of that.
Yeah,
guy,
that was a no-brainer. I think they just caught Griswold kind of off guard.
All right, and that's a 1st down at the 30 of Griswold for Bassick. I believe that's the deepest they've been in the Griswold territory tonight.
So we've got 7:15 left in the first half.
14-0 Griswold. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half. Bassick 1st down and 10 at the 30. Quarterback keeper. He runs it for about 2 or 3 yards. So that'll bring up 2nd and 8.
So I was watching Ledyard in New London last night online, and they were in a dogfight. Their running back Outlaw got hurt on the 3rd play, and Ledyard couldn't move the ball. So Griswold played both of those teams. It ended up being 8-0. Ledyard ended up winning, but New London nor Ledyard could move the ball last night. It was a beautiful night on a turf field, and they still struggled. So, having that running back is key. And, Griswold didn't have Kessler. They're doing a lot better with a speed back. Just like, Ledyard had Outlaw against Griswold, and last night they didn't have him against New London. So
low snap. Bassick looking over the middle, and it's incomplete, just a little bit high.
That was actually a great pass, and that was just as equally good coverage. And that was probably the sharpest ball I think I've seen Bassick's quarterback throw so far tonight.
They had an opportunity there. Kyle Montague on the coverage there for Griswold. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
Halftime score in Stonington, 18-7. Killingly, Jack Sharp, 3 touchdowns, 109 yards of rushing in the first half. 18-7. So, is it a matter of waking the sleeping bear when Killingly starts to get things going?
All right, Torres rushing to the right.
Fantastic defensive play there by Ryan Palillo, maintaining the edge from his outside linebacker spot and then crashing down on the running back right around the ankles, stopping him for a very short gain.
Just got back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like, so that'll bring up 4th and 7. Just about 5:30 here to go in the first half. 14-0 Griswold. Looks like another timeout here for Bassick.
So while we have a timeout outside of the Griswold Pride press box, who do we have for our sponsors this evening, Mike?
You're asking me? I would know these things, right? Of course, we're in the Griswold Pride broadcast booth. We have the Jewett City Savings Bank, as always. You caught me off guard. They've been with us since day one. You know that, right, KT? Because how many years you been with us, KT?
Doing football. This is year 5.
Yeah, fifth. The Burns Agency in Norwich, also in Dayville. Griswold Pride, of course. Griswold Dental on Slater Avenue in Jewett City. I love Dr. K. Their slogan, Griswold Dental. They'll make you smile.
You should know, Mike, there's no sleeping up here in the Griswold Pride booth. We're going to catch you off guard whenever we get an opportunity.
Got me.
All right, here we go. 4th and 7, Bassick from the Griswold 27.
Definitely not punting here.
Torres drops back, gets it out to his right. Nice tackle by Rubino. I can't tell from our angle by the marker if he got it or if he was short.
He never went over the line, so let's see what they do.
No, they gave it to him.
Give him a first down.
They gave it to him. So first down. It's very hard from our angle, honestly, and you can see on the camera. Basically what you see on the camera is the same angle we have. So when the ball is that far across the field, it's very difficult to see where the officials are spotting it. I forgot my binoculars.
That was the Kincaid Rubino number 21 from Bassick matchup. And it's happening again.
Oh, that's a touchdown by
and he
Bassick.
just
Torres
got
to
over him.
James, just over the outstretched hand of Rubino. So Bassick gets on the board. That would be a 20-yard touchdown score. Torres to James.
So the difference there was you had Cade was up a little bit tighter on, is it James you said, number 21?
Yes.
Is James. He was up on James a little bit tighter that time. James just got a jump on him off the line of scrimmage, put one little move on him, and he was able to get leverage on the pass.
Looks like they're going for 2. There's a snap. Rolling to his right. Torres looking for James again. He'll try to run it. He gets inside. No signal. It's good.
He's good.
2-point conversion is good. So that'll make it 14-8 with 4:52 left to go in the first half. Griswold with a 6-point lead. So you were talking about Griswold and waking them up. It was like we were saying about the Lewis Mills game. They scored first,
Yeah.
and then they didn't score again. So.
And, it's one of those things where, you get a team that starts slow like that, and then they just shift into another gear. And, Killingly, definitely, they're a very powerful team. But just like anybody, it's any given Friday. You never know. And Stonington may have their number. Who knows? With the, it's still an 11-point game at the half. I just noticed. I'm sorry. We do have a player down in the field for Bassick. It's number 2 from Bassick.
That's Giovanni Torres. That's their running back. Yeah, I had not noticed that either. It was on the very, very far side of the field on that 2-point conversion. But he's showing good sportsmanship, kneeling down and letting that play out. So here we go, 14-8. 4:52 left to go in the first half. It's a game.
It is a game. And again, you've got to Griswold's got to keep the pedal to the metal.
All right, this is the first time we've seen Bassick kick off tonight.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, it should be interesting to see.
All right, here we go. Bassick going to kick off to the Griswold Wheeler squad.
So one of the things we notice really through the first few weeks, is that the offsides on the kickoffs aren't necessarily called the way that they should be. We're right on this 40-yard line, and you can see, even number 15 is actually out of position. He's supposed to be inside, and his teammates just said, "Hey, move up." There you go. So they're up.
No, not in that case. Kickoff's away, caught at the 30. Kessler's coming to the right side, near side here. He's going down the sideline, and James looks like he got him at the 45 of Bassick. That's a nice 25-yard return by Kessler.
So there's not a lot of high school action this week. This is one of the weeks where quite a few teams actually have a bye week. I think Griswold was on their bye, or one of their byes last week. And I think they have another one coming up as well.
Amistad lost to Plainfield yesterday.
Yeah, Amistad lost to Plainfield yesterday. Actually, that was the second time Amistad played Plainfield this year.
On a Thursday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Amistad plays a very limited schedule, so they're disqualified for any postseason play. But they're still they started as a JV program. They've built their way up to playing some varsity.
All right. It's the first play from scrimmage. Kessler goes to his right, gets inside the 40 and dragged down at about the 38. So nice 7-yard gain there on first down.
2 years ago, I think it was maybe even 3. It was either 2 or 3 years ago. Griswold was supposed to play Amistad. Amistad backed out of that game to play some private school out in Long Island, and got absolutely throttled. And I have no idea why they did that, but they scheduled this. Yeah, I'm sure it is. They scheduled money. They scheduled the same game at the same time. Unfortunate, you get Griswold kids looking to play a 10-game schedule. They get 9 games. So unfortunate, but at least Plainfield got
second
them
and
twice
3
this year.
here for the Wolverines. Cassidy rolling out to the left, throws it up in the air, looking, and incomplete. It was a nice attempt there by Frazier. He went up to grab that jump ball. Or is that Rubino? That's Rubino.
There's Rubino. Of course, one of the tough throws for a young quarterback is rolling to his left and throwing as a right-handed quarterback.
Unless you're a lefty like me.
Unless you're lefty. Then we'd roll you out to the right, make you throw against your body. Yeah, it's a tough play to go, but it was a good throw. Very good throw, almost completed.
Yeah, and the key when you do that is just to make sure you got your shoulders square,
Shoulder
right?
set your feet and go. Yep, and give it a heave.
All right, here we go. Third down and long 2, short 3, whatever you'd like to call it. Rubino in motion left to right. They're going to hand it off to Kessler. Oh, nice penetration there by Bassick. And they drag him down for about a 1-yard gain. Number 55 there for Bassick.
So it's
whose number we don't have. So
4th down and 1.
4th down and 1 at the Bassick 36.
It's an absolute, we're going for it. You got nothing to lose. You got 3:20 left in the first half. Again, I think this is another situation where you're going to power the ball right behind Danny Sims, John Dugan, and Aaron Hamill.
Oh, it was a false start there, I think. Yep, false start on Kyle Montague.
Yeah, I still don't think that this changes your philosophy. It'll change the play, but it's not going to change your philosophy. I think you're going to have to look to get Kessler to the outside here somehow. Punt really shouldn't be an option. It could be, but given the way your season's going so far, you got to go for it here.
4th and 6 here now from the Bassick 41. Does Cassie know how to pooch punt if they had to do that?
He might. I'm not sure, but I can tell you there's one that does have a pretty decent leg is Kessler.
Direct snap to him if they want.
Direct snap, you could go under center and you could pitch it to him. So there's a couple different things you can do.
Flag on the play.
Another flag on the play. I'm not sure what this one's about. Officials are conferring. Got another
Encroachment on the
offside,
defense.
so they're going to get the 5 yards back. So that's a big penalty on Bassick there. So now it'll go back to 4th and 1
Now
from the 36.
your play changes yet again. And again, I still think you somehow try to just play power football here. You need a yard.
So that play to me looked like was Kessler going to throw that ball, do you think?
Yeah, it's very possible. And he's a hell of a baseball player. He is an all ECC baseball player down in Wheeler. And hence the reason why he was also late, I guess, to joining football this year is because he was playing some fall baseball. But, he's a jack of all trades. But there it is.
Kessler off the right side.
Open.
That's a first down. Easy. He's down the sideline. He gets pushed out of bounds at about, I want to say that 10 or 11. They're going to mark him at the 10, so it'll be 1st and goal, Griswold.
Speed. It's all about speed. Griswold had the line of scrimmage established within a nanosecond of the ball being snapped. It looked like the whole entire offensive line had shifted the D line 5 yards downfield by the time Kessler even hit the line of scrimmage. I mean, that was a no-brainer first down. Great offensive line surge by the whole entire Wolverine line, both sides, left and right.
That was a touchdown saving shove by James.
And it goes without saying the other side of the Griswold line is Zach Comfort playing left guard, and you have Aiden Daniluk playing left tackle. They're also doing a phenomenal job on that side as well. And this is Ryan Palillo.
Palillo gets tossed out of bounds.
And
by the jersey at about the 2.
That's borderline yellow flag coming out there.
Second and goal at the 2 here for the Wolverines. 1:44 to go in the first half. They're up by 6, 14-8.
Homecoming game. Senior Palillo got you back down there. I know Kessler's in the game. I think you feed the ball to Palillo, but we're in a dogfight here, 14-8. Coach is going to go with what he feels is his best option at this point, which is again going to be Kessler off right tackle.
I formation here. Looked like Bassick was offside. I'm not sure what happened there, but Cassidy fumbled the snap and then just tried to take it in himself.
Looks like he came out from underneath center a little too soon, but this doesn't hurt you either. You have the ball 2nd and goal inside the 1, and time is on your side. You've got 1:24 and counting. You have no need to rush. You don't want to leave Bassick with any time on the clock. Take your time. Make sure everybody's set. Don't give yourself a 5-yard penalty. Take your time.
3rd and goal at the 1. And here we go. There's a snap. Handed back to Kessler. Kessler's in for the touchdown. 1-yard TD run for Kyle Kessler. His 3rd on the night.
And you're going to have to go for 2 here. You got a 12-point game, so I think Coach Wilcox could go right back to the well again with the same play.
1:03 to go, 20-8. Wolverines up, and they are going to go for the 2, as Coach just said. Going to send him over to the left hash, or not quite the hash, but to the left side.
Should tell you something coming up here.
Kessler to the left, tries to get in. Doesn't look like he made it. So the 2-point conversion is no good. So that'll leave the score at 20. Griswold, Wheeler, 8. Bassick. Wolverines with a 12-point lead, 1:03 to go here in the first half. Mike's doing wrist exercises in the booth.
Disco dancing.
Chair dancing. Flash dance.
You can ring my roller skate.
Don't quit your day job, Mike.
Ring my bell. My bell. That's good water.
Who sings that song?
What?
Ring my bell.
I need a something.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
That's my favorite bird.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Game, set, match, Minarski. Game, set, match. Hook, line, sinker. You name it all.
So Anita Bell sings Ring My Bell?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Oh, look, somebody's bringing us pizza.
We're losing viewers as Minarski starts to sing. We've dropped. Oh, they came back. They heard our voice. Look at that. They heard our
All right,
voice, and
here
four more
comes the
people.
kickoff.
4 more people joined,
Right down the middle.
and he's down.
Caught, and he's down immediately
That is the
at
perfect
the
kick.
35. 25, I should say.
So we know Bassick, I believe, has 1 or 2 timeouts left. Not quite
I believe
sure.
they have one. I think they
have.
took 2.
Yeah, I think they have 1. They could have.
Yeah,
1.
they do.
Yeah.
It says
All right, Wolverines, please make sure you stay for halftime and enjoy the homecoming 2021.
they don't have the timeouts up there. I thought they did. I thought they had the dots up there, but they don't. I think they have 1. I think they took 2.
Whoa.
All right, here we go. Bassick starting at their own 25 with a minute to go. Wolverines up by 12, 20-8.
So one thing they have to do is not give up a big play here. You can see the defensive backs are a good 10 yards off the ball. They're going to keep the receivers in front of them. They're just playing bail, keep everything in front.
Going deep, a little too deep. Rubino tried, but couldn't come down with it.
Don't let anybody get behind you. Keep everybody in front of you. And, you can give up a 10, 20-yard pass. That's okay. You just don't want to give up the 75-yard pass.
And that's a simple concept, right? Don't let anybody get behind you. But
It
even
is.
in the pros,
You're correct.
They make that mistake.
You're right. And, of course, right now Griswold does not, they have someone playing free. They've got, right now, Aiden Peltier is playing free. He's about 15, 20 yards off the ball. I mean, he's got to be as deep as the deepest here.
Oh,
and that's a
intercepted.
pick by Logan Davis, number 23 from Griswold. He is
rumbling
going
down the
to
right sideline, and he's tackled.
just short, down about the 5-yard line.
Nice pick.
Logan Davis.
Logan Davis picking it and scampering all the way down to the 5. So Griswold have another chance with 44.6 seconds to go. I think that's 6, could be 8. Scoreboard doesn't have all the lights.
As long
But
as
it's
it
12-point
ends up
lead.
being 6 at the end of this drive, that's all that matters to Griswold.
I don't think Griswold's taken a timeout, have they?
I don't think they have either.
So they have all 3 if they need them. I think Kessler to the right, Kessler to the left.
I would have to say, you've got the ball on the left hash. You got a lot of real estate on the right here. You've got timeouts. You can stretch this play out. Griswold has a couple plays out of double wing, 88 reach, which basically you're running almost parallel to the line, but you're gaining at the same time. It looks like they could be in that situation right now. They're in traditional double wing here, but I think you're looking at, right off
There you
tackle
go.
and in for a
For the
score.
score.
That's Palillo with a big score.
Touchdown. Wolverines, Ryan Palillo. That's his first score on the night. Palillo on a 5-yard scamper. Puts the Wolverines up 26-8 with 39.3 seconds to go here in the first half.
And you know what? You talk about good kids. That's Ryan Palillo. Had the pleasure of coaching him when I was up here, and just a fine young gentleman, always very polite. And he was a leader right from the jump. Even as a sophomore, kids were voting for him as team captain. I mean, he's just a very level-headed, positive influenced kid.
Kessler off to the left, and there's no signal yet. Not sure if they're looking to see where the ball is, and they finally say it's good. So the 2-point conversion makes it 22-8. Wolverines, 14-point lead with 39.3 seconds to go over the Bassick Lions.
We have a score update in Killingly. 25-7 Killingly. Jack Sharp, 4 touchdowns, 149 yards rushing.
Well, Kessler has 3 touchdowns and more than that.
And yes,
on
he
the
does.
ground,
And he's going to be. He still has an entire half of football. this is definitely still a close game. 28-8 is still a very reachable game for Bassick.
28-8 to 8, 39.3 to go here in the first half. Wolverines has built a 20-point lead. They scored twice in the first quarter, and now have scored twice here in the second. Bassick got on the board in the second quarter.
If Bassick doesn't get a big return here, I think it's a take a knee situation and go into the half and regroup. But they can they get a return or they get the ball somewhere near midfield. I think with the big playability there of 21. I think his name was James. You said right?
Yes.
The big playability of him. The last few times that him and his quarterback connected, they were some pretty good offensive plays. So if you get it at midfield, first down, the clock is stopping to set the ball. They could potentially do some damage in 40 seconds.
Kickoff right down the middle, fielded by Bassick at the 23.
Looks like you're going to have an offsides on the kicking team. We talked about that before. They call it a false start, but it's basically it's just the kicking team crossing the 40-yard line before the ball is kicked.
What you had mentioned earlier has been something you've noticed all
very
season.
Called very weak, and not just here. It's been to some other games that I've been to as well. It's a little bit easier to see it from up here than it is down on the field at eye level, but it's something I think that has been lacking.
All right, so we'll try it again, this time from the 35. Staniski sets it on the tee.
And this just brings Bassick closer to midfield with 39 seconds to go still. It's very possible they could get the ball back up to the 40, 45-yard line here.
Scribs it on the ground, picked up off the ground at the 33, 34. Now he's backpedaling to the 30. He decides to just cut it up and gets up to about the 35.
And that's coming back here. There's a block in the back right in front of us here, or a hold. I think it's probably going to be a hold. So you're going to see a 10-yard penalty here against Bassick. It's going to push them back. Number 6 there on the return, Elijah Basso, right? Very strong possibility he could have let that ball go out of bounds, but he decided to return it.
It's a holding call against Bassick, so that'll walk it back to the 25. And now with this field position, Coach, what do you think? They just kneel, or do
you got the ball
try
on
to
the
run a play and see what happens?
Yeah, you get the ball on the 25-yard line. It's not too bad, or it's actually on the 20-yard line. Sorry. At this point, truthfully, I've got nothing to lose if I'm Bassick, but 30 seconds to go. They tried something last time. It's got to be a short pass, or you just got to throw it away. I would be more apt to probably just take a knee at this point. Doesn't look like that's happening there in shotgun.
Looks like they are going to run a play. There's a snap. Drops back, rolls out to his right, and throws it and intercepted again.
And again, there you go. That's the disadvantage. Montigny could have gone right into the end zone.
Oh, I think we got somebody down on the Griswold
that's
side.
Kyle Montigny.
Montigny's down.
He's been nursing some sort of injury to his. I think he hurt his ribs earlier in the year and ankle or knee lately, but he stepped in front of that ball perfectly, and he very well could have had a pick six there with no issues. Looks like he did get tripped up, and he is down.
They're checking one of his legs. I can't tell which. So there were 3 people there. There was a Bassick receiver and then 2 Griswold defenders. Looks like they're checking his left knee, from what I can tell.
So this is
Thanks for that zoom in.
A free timeout here for both Bassick and Griswold. If I'm Coach Wilcox, we talked about, don't take your foot off the pedal, don't take your foot off the throat. 23 seconds, and I believe they have a full slate of timeouts. If not, they have 2 at least. You're trying to score here from the 20 going in. There's no taking a knee at this point.
So I still don't know if that was truly an interception. It looked like it, but
He stepped in front and he stepped in front and he
because
gained.
initially they had just a down marker there and they didn't move the yard marker. So I was like, which way?
He stepped in front and had a small gain. So I think you're gonna get the ball. You're gonna get the ball here in Kessler's hands. Nothing fancy, nothing tricky.
Yeah, so when you have a situation like this gives them an opportunity to call multiple plays, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, you could put 2 in, get up to the line of scrimmage. Young team. You don't have your skill players are younger kids, but I will tell you with timeouts, I think you can try to run the ball here, and you don't have to throw. You have 23 seconds. You got plenty of time. One of the players I haven't seen here tonight is Josh Turner. He's been playing pretty solid D and solid fullback. I don't see him on the sidelines tonight.
Cassie drops back, throws it out to the left-hand side, incomplete.
And you're going to have another roughing the passer penalty here against Bassick, which is just a bad move, bad penalty by Bassick. And Luke Cassidy's getting up a little gimpy, but kid is tough like his mom. So he's he'll be back out there getting the play from Wilcox with 16 seconds left. Griswold's going to have the ball inside the 10-yard line.
There's no penalty. Oh, no. Okay, now they're walking it off. I'm like, what are they waiting for? All right, there we go.
And again, with timeouts, the play here, I think, is Kessler from the 8 or the 9-yard line.
So that'll make it first and goal for the Wolverines on the roughing the passer call.
The timeout
it's half the distance. And now Griswold's taking a timeout. So they're up 28-8, 16.5, I think the clock says, to go here in the first half. And they have an opportunity to go up if they score here and get the extra point or a 2-point conversion. They could really go up by more than 3 scores.
And you're talking, 3 touchdowns in basically what's under a minute if they can score here, right? They scored, they had the interception and scored, and then another interception they could score again. So you're talking about a minute 30 seconds. It was a 14-8 game not too long ago, and it's 28-8. Soon could be 34, 35, 36. But, again, you punch it in here. I think Coach Wilcox is saying this is bigger than any touchdown this half. This is, momentum carried into the half. Let's buckle down. Let's put something in the end zone here.
All right, here we go. First and goal from the 9. Shotgun. Cassie drops back, looks right, looks left, throws it to the sideline. It's incomplete over Rubino's head. 11.2 to go. Griswold, it'll be second and goal. Cassidy is on the sideline.
Grabbing the play. He's getting the play from
No, he's on the bench right here. Cassidy's on the bench.
Oh, is that him?
Kessler,
Okay.
I should say. Kessler, my bad.
Oh, Kessler.
Sorry, I meant to say Kessler.
Yeah, he could be gassed. I don't know that he's hurt per se, but he's been doing a lot of running so far.
It looks like they're taping up Montague's right ankle. So the video live, because it looked like they were checking his left knee. Cassidy going to the end zone, and just tipped away. He had Palillo open, but a good play there by Bassick, tipping that ball away.
You got time for one more play.
Time for one more play here. 5.8 seconds to go. See if they can punch it in and go up somewhere in the neighborhood of 35-36 to 8 heading into the locker room. All right, here we go. 3rd and goal. And a timeout, Griswold.
Griswold.
Let's talk this one over and get the right play. So what do you think here, Coach? You still gonna try to do a pass play here, or
Yeah, I mean your chance to run, I think, bypassed you on 1st down and 2nd down. It looks like Kessler's limping around a little bit, but you know that I think that opportunity's passed you by. You know, this is a one shot from the 10, possibly some sort of rollout. You could run a flood pattern to the right hand side where you're basically getting 3 receivers in the end zone on the right in all different spots. But
do the 3 levels?
yeah, the 3 levels. I mean, and what you're looking at, the first level, you're looking right at, about a half a yard into the end zone. And then, your second level would be halfway into the end zone. And then your third level would be the back corner. And this way here, Cassidy would have 3 different options. Whatever he sees open first would all be touchdown passes if he were able to get the pass off. And it does look like they have 3 guys. They're in a trips formation here with 3 eligibles on the right. And you've also got a back in the backfield. So it could be where you are flooding it 4 ways here. It looked like they were trying to do, they were trying to do some
slipped
inside slip screen, but
and that'll do it for the half, folks. 28-8, Griswold with a 20-point lead heading into halftime.
And we know that wasn't a 5-second play, but of course, catch the ball and the clock runs out and takes us into the half.
All right. So what do we do at halftime, Mike? It's my first game this season.
Mike gets. Mike
Let
gets
the band and the cheerleaders do their thing.
Steak tips. And
I appreciate that. My son's in the band at Killeen, so. All right, sounds good. All right, so you've been listening and watching Griswold football on SNSN. We'll be back for the second half. 28-8, Wolverines go into halftime with a 20-point lead. And we're back here at Griswold High School in the Griswold Pride broadcast booth, ready to bring you second half action. Griswold up by 20, 28-18. And Bassick will kick off, so Griswold will get the ball here to start the second half. Nice halftime ceremonies for homecoming. And there's the kick. Down the left hash. Gets by, but picked up there by Palillo. He tries to cut it to the middle. Brought down at the 29.
Plenty of time to field that kick. Get some respectable field position to Griswold to start back again where they left off.
A little disappointing they couldn't punch it in there at the end of the first half, Coach, but they get the opportunity to score here right away in the second.
You know, and it's always nice, you know, the big plays, get the big scores. But, you know, with a young team, it's also nice to see some sort of kind of, you know, drive, you know, like a 8-9 play drive, chew up some clock, work on a couple things and get things, some kinks worked out. And you got Palillo running off tackle right for about 6.
That'll bring up 2nd and 4. Kessler is not back in there, Coach.
Yeah, Kessler's over on the side. It looks like he rolled his ankle a little bit. You know, in a game like this right now, maybe you don't need him, but, you know, you hope he can work that out. We do have a score update, 32-7 with 9:21 left in the game. Jack Sharp had his 5th touchdown today. Again, you know,
Lot can be up there, Coach.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Timon Daniels walking off the field.
Yep. One bad thing about halftime, you know, you sit around for 15 minutes or so and you got to get back into the swing of things. So hopefully that young man can come back out and play.
Yeah, so it looks like Kessler and Montague will not probably come back here in the second half. And that play goes nowhere. They'll basically get back to the line of scrimmage.
That was Cade Rubino on the carry.
3rd and 3. Do you want us to be able to hear each other? Because I can't hear him in my headset. I don't think he can hear me either.
I hear you. Yes, I
you
hear
can
you.
hear me?
I hear
I
you
can't hear
perfectly.
You. Yep. I mean, I can hear you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah. I hear you in one ear. Now I don't hear you at all. Nothing.
No, nothing.
We're back.
Nada.
As long as our audience can hear Mike, that's all that matters. And
3rd and 3,
there's
a flag. That's normally holding.
It's something silly going on there in the middle.
That area where the flag is dropped normally signifies holding. We'll see.
Could be a hold, could even be a block below the waist.
Oh, yeah, chop block looks like, right? Or a clip, one of the two.
Yeah, the high-low. Yeah,
chop block,
a chop block. Usually when something comes out that quick, that's one of the first things you think of, but the result is actually worse than the hold. Unfortunately, when it's a chop block, that is a 15-yarder as opposed to a 10 from the spot. So Griswold's going to have a 3rd and about 16 to go.
3rd and 16 here, just started the second half.
You know, not the way that you want to start, but Griswold is in double wing, so you're either going to be looking at some sort of run. You could be looking at a waggle pass here.
There's a snap.
Which you have a waggle.
Back. Cassidy looking over the middle.
That's complete to number
Completed
88.
pass.
That should be one of the Hardren boys.
Jacob Hamill there on the reception.
Jacob Hamill.
And that'll be that was good for about 6 yards, 5-6 yards. So
Trivia question of 2021: who scored the first touchdown for Griswold football in 2 years in the 2021 season? Anyone? Jacob Hamill against Ledyard. That will go out. That will go down in SNSN trivia lore. Just like
That's
who sings "Ring
That's
My
a
Bell."
giveaway trivia.
I've been
thing.
singing.
It's not Anita Bell, it's Anita Ward.
Anita Ward. I've
Ward.
been singing "Ring My Bell." That's the only words that I know. I've been singing it all halftime by myself, standing in the corner. I know.
Fortunately, I was not doing that. I was watching the Red Sox game.
You ruined my weekend.
There's the punt. Gets away, bounces to the left, and it'll be down at the Griswold 49. So Bassick will have good field position here, Coach.
Yeah, they're going to be on Griswold's side. I think this is one of the few times they've been down there. I know they haven't started field position on that side of the field, I don't think. But, this is something, Griswold stalled out on offense. But, they're going to have to pick it up, start off on defense, and, limit any big playability, limit Bassick from moving the ball, and just keep grinding things out in the second half here.
All right, Bassick's first possession in the second half. 8:58 to go here in the third quarter. Griswold with a 28 to 8 lead. All right, here we go. Bassick ready to snap the ball. Low snap, picked up by Torres.
Scrambling for his life. And usually when that happens,
finally taken down, and there's a bunch of flags on the ground.
When that happens, you're looking at some sort of hold to try to keep your quarterback safe. The amount of yardage that was lost here is pretty much the equivalent of a hold. I would say you would probably think about declining that penalty, but with it being second down and 20, or do you want it to be first down and 28, give or take? Maybe even longer, first down and more. I would personally decline the penalty just because of the loss that they had on the play.
It's declined.
It makes sense to do that.
Penalty was declined, so it'll be second down and about 20 from the Bassick 41.
Really the same result. If the hold was at the line of scrimmage, you'd be putting them back just about the same distance and giving them one less play to recover. You're going to see probably some sort of pass here again. Looks like they may end up going somewhere.
Going deep down the left-hand side, overthrown.
See, so they're looking for penalties. Bassick is, and I'll be honest with you, I see this as a result of watching football on Sundays, where anytime there's some contact, they're making the throw the flag gesture. And when there's mutual kind of grabbing at the level here within high school football, you're not going to get that penalty. It's, two defenders going at it. I mean, personally, could there be pass interference? Sure, it could go on both sides, but, it's equal play at that point.
And it'll bring up 3rd and 20 for Bassick. Lions have it on their own 41-yard line.
So, Kincaid Rubino is about 13 yards off the ball. You could look here again for number 21 downfield.
And he does over the middle, and it's incomplete. So that'll bring up 4th and 20. We were told at halftime by somebody from Bassick that 21 is not James. It's actually one of the guys I mentioned in the pre-show, which is Nashon Scott. So
okay.
Now we have that right.
Nashon Scott. We've been calling you James and 21, and now we're going to call you Scott, Nashon Scott.
I don't think everybody has seen our wonderful roster from Bassick, but we were talking about it earlier. It literally is written in Sharpie on a yellow
hanging folder.
Multicolored.
I love
red
it.
And orange and green.
It almost looks like
black.
It looks like they signed their names on it and not the coach. I kind of like it.
All right. They're going for it on 4th. Torres takes the snap, runs up the middle, gets back to about the original line of scrimmage, just a little shy of that. So they'll turn it over on downs. And Griswold will get the ball at midfield.
Still have, it looks like Kessler still on the sidelines. And I think in a 20-point game here, you kind of can sit him down
And I
if
think
he's a
they're
little
actually
banged up.
bringing in Chase Spurley here at quarterback, Coach.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know Cassidy was banged up a little bit earlier. He's limping a little bit on the sidelines. Looked like he rolled his ankle. He's had 3 legitimate roughing the passing penalties called against him, and he was also blasted probably 2 or 3 other times. So, it could be where he's dinged up a little bit and needs a little break. I would tell you, when Cassidy was out with his injury after the Ledger game, Chase Spurley came in and filled in very well. It's always nice to have 2 quarterbacks.
Little to the right, down the sideline. He looks like he picked up a first down. The pole is in the way.
And Spurley's not a huge kid, but he's got some athleticism in him. Certainly for a freshman, there's no doubt. I believe he's a Wheeler player.
Yeah, 2 freshman quarterbacks.
Yeah, and speaking of Wheeler players, I saw an old classmate of mine, Ledyard Lewis, lives in North Stonington. His son is on the Griswold Wheeler roster, Benjamin Lewis. Ledyard Lewis, he's part of the Bariah Lewis family. Outstanding lineman at Ledyard High School, graduate class of 1990, and unbelievable, just a monster of a lineman. And there goes Cade Rubino out left for about 6 or 7 yards. We do have another
We got a
Bassick player
Bassick
down.
player on the ground. That looks like
55
number
there,
55.
The middle linebacker that's been.
He's made a few good plays. For
Yeah,
them
it's
in the
very
game.
aggressive, very aggressive player. He looks like a lot of ankles going on around Wolverine Stadium tonight.
I'll admit that we were given his name at halftime too, but I don't remember it. So
The plush, luscious turf field up at Griswold High School is causing a few injuries, and there's an initiative where we're trying here to find a way to get some field turf up at the high school.
Killingly had a grub issue a couple years ago.
Yeah, they lost
Destroyed
a big,
our field.
Big portion of the field. They put the turf in, and then they lost a big portion of it.
So we went out to the community, and we're looking for money. They approved it, and then they wound up getting a huge donation.
Yeah,
private donation.
Right.
So it wound up costing the school very little money.
And there's so many turf fields in the area now, and even track, and especially up here, if you come up here late afternoon, nighttime, early morning, weekends, people are always walking around on the track. I mean, it's a great facility to work out at. It's got the stairs going all the way up, and if you've never been here before and you're at the bottom and you got to go to the top, you don't want to ever come back down again. It's a brutal set of stairs. But the campus is gorgeous. 3 schools here located right on Slater Avenue in Jewett City, and a beautiful football stadium, except for the middle pole here. But outside of that, just a great atmosphere, and the turf field would just make this so much more special, not only for the football players, but for all sports and all activities that come through the school, including the ones in the community.
All right, on 2nd and 5, the handoff goes to number 22, whose name we don't have.
And that's your classic
on the roster.
That's your classic tight 2 wedge where you just drive the middle of the field. And we're going to find out from our announcer, Mr. John Harden, if we know who number 22 is. We're just going to call him Double Deuce.
Double Deuce.
Deuce
Staley.
We're going to get a number on him. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to step away for 2 seconds. I'm going to find out from the coach on the booth who he is. Hang on 1 second.
Sounds good. Yeah, that would be nice to have, because that was a nice run up the middle. They got a first down, so it's 1st down and 10 here for the Wolverines at the Bassick 27-yard line. You got Chase Spurley in at quarterback. He turns around and hands it off to Rubino going on around the left side. He gets knocked out of bounds inside the 20 down to the 16. So that'll be close to another first down. See if they give it to him. Name change, number change. Josh Turner, number 22.
And
So
we
when
were asking about him in the beginning of the game. He's number 11. There's Josh Turner.
So he multiplied himself.
He did. He
went to
doubled.
22.
Yep, he's doubled. He was uno. Now he's
Dos.
dos. We got him. Josh Turner. What's his last name?
Around the right side, Polito's going to the touchdown. He makes it in. Nice run by Polillo all the way from
So 22
their
is
own
not.
16-yard line. Touchdown.
22 is not
Ryan
Josh Turner.
Polillo.
22 is not Josh Turner.
Who did they say it was?
Gio, I think.
Just Gio? What's my
Gio,
one
I
name?
don't know. Yeah.
Madonna.
Seal.
You know.
McLovin. I mean, come on. McLovin.
Nelly.
Nelly. McLovin. I am McLovin. I am McLovin.
You're McLovin it?
I am absolutely McLovin it.
All right, here we go. Rubino for the extra point.
Okay, Gio
All right.
Malave.
Oh, it's blocked, so that'll be no good. 34-8, 6:08 to go in the third quarter. Griswold up by 28. Gio Malave.
Gio Malave.
Rico Suave is number 22.
Yeah. Rico. Gio
Malave.
All right, we're having a little happy dance up here in the booth.
Yeah, when it gets to be 26-point game, you got to entertain yourself.
Mike Minarski has broken out into a combination of the Macarena and the electric slide in this booth. I don't know how much room we're going to have, but he is Macarena-ing it out.
All right, 6:08 here to go in the third quarter. 34-8, Griswold up by 26. So Polillo, nice 16-yard run. That's his second touchdown of the night. He had a 5-yard scamper in the first half.
So Ring My Bell is no longer in my brain. It is now Rico Suave.
Glad I could help.
Yep, it's going to be, let's not break the internet here. Oh, it's much cooler in front of the window than it is in the back. They put the young people in the back of the booth here, and they put the old people up in the front of the window.
All right, Griswold about to kick off here. Staniski tried a onside kick, it looks like, but it didn't go far enough. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not.
That was like, oh, do I kick it? Do I not kick it? I'm not 100% sure.
So
nonetheless,
Bassick will take over at the Griswold 46.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking for Coach Wilcox to do an onside kick here, up 26 points. I would probably say it would be a short squib kick, so that there's no deep return. And the other thing too, you got to remember, depending upon how you feel about kickoffs, a small school, it's a great way to lose some players on kickoff. It's very dangerous. I know there's quite a few leagues, even high school throughout the country, where they do some modified rules on kickoff, and you see it more so in the youth for sure. But
that's one of the reasons they started doing the fair catch in the NFL and college.
Yep. And now, of course, with the NFL, you kick it into the end zone, you get the ball to 25 now instead of the 20. But I'm sure, the game of football is evolving. I'm sure you'll see some changes coming in over the next few years anyways.
Well, in this day and age of data, I'm sure they crunched the data and looked at the number of injuries that were happening on kickoffs. Oh, there's a fumble on the snap and covered by Bassick, but they'll lose about 10 yards on that, maybe a little more.
Zach Confer in on the.
Zach Confer has been all over the place on defense.
And, he's missed some time this year. He was hurt earlier in the year. And, again, I enjoyed coaching Zach. I mean, another great kid, just a polite. He's a sponge when it comes to learning the game, and he's got some experience. He was playing varsity as a freshman and sophomore. Obviously, lost his junior year, but he's definitely a student of the game. He's a great kid, good leader. His teammates obviously recognize him by voting him in as captain, and I'm sure he's happy to be back on the field again.
So they lost about 14 yards on that play.
It's tough, and when you're missing snaps now, that snap basically I think was slow and bouncy back to the quarterback, which is not a good thing.
Now this guy sack coming
Confer, up. Confer in again. Great breakdown position by number 22 there, Gio Malave. He's set up Bassick's quarterback for Zach Confer to come in for the official sack. Confer technically, I think, would be
Give him each
credited
a half
with the
sack on
sack.
that?
Yeah, I would say so. Or an assist, one or the other. But now Bassick is looking at a third and a
Third
lot.
in God's lost country.
Yeah, third and a lot. It's probably about a good 35 to
Country
go.
mile.
Yeah, it's
Whatever cliche you'd like to use
That's
for a
right.
lot of distance.
third and what load. Yep.
And they're taking a timeout here to talk it over. What play do we have for third and, let's see, 10, 20, about 30-ish?
I mean, in a close game, if you're looking for, something out of the ordinary, you could quick kick it here, even on third down. You got no return guy back. So, if you had a halfway decent punter, you could punt them down to, say, the 40 or the 35-yard line. You just don't want to have a negative play here if you're Bassick. Looking at a third down and 40-something, wouldn't be good. The other thing you definitely don't want to hear from Griswold.
They went continuous clock, even though they're not 35.
Oh, they are? Okay. Yeah, so they're going. It looks as if our announcer was telling us that they're going running clock in the second half, even though they're not at the 35-point threshold.
So those of you that may not know that rule, there's a mercy rule in high school football in Connecticut where if one team gets up by 35,
they run
the clock doesn't stop regardless.
Second half, they keep going. If you're Griswold, one of the things you don't want to do here, you don't want a roughing the passer penalty. You don't want anything that's going to give an automatic first down. If Bassick does end up punting on fourth down, you don't want roughing the kicker. They've worked they've worked to gain this advantage. You have to be smart about what you're doing. And again, this is almost like a prevent situation where you got your defensive backs at, about 10 yards off. Don't give up the big play. Keep everybody in front. And even if they make a catch and get a 20-yard gain, you're still looking at third down and really long. 55 is back in the game for Bassick, which is a good sign. He's been their H-back and their middle linebacker.
Third and about 34. They're going deep. And
That's a nice interception
by
Cade.
Rubino, his second of the night. And he's running it back to the 45, down at the 46 of Griswold, and has a flag on the field.
I think it's going to be it could be a short flag where the official didn't reach. It looked like it might have been a face mask against Bassick.
It's on Griswold.
It's going to be after the interception. Was that the pole was in my way? Was that a block in the back?
He did this, which I'm not really sure what that is.
Yeah, I couldn't see what
the
they
signal
called,
was a little bit foreign to me. So
looks like it might have been a personal foul, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty assessed from the end of the run. So you're looking at Griswold with the ball again. They'll have a first down.
That's a 15-yarder.
So that's, in a game like this, this
might have been helmet to helmet.
Yeah, I bet that's probably. Did he do the
Yeah.
Yeah. So
helmet to helmet.
This is the other thing. You want to get out of here without anything ridiculous happening, right? So if you're Griswold, even if you're Bassick, you're halfway through your season. Let's not get ourselves hurt, do anything stupid.
I think John Dugan thought he was done for the night, but he went back out there
and
late.
He might have thought they were also not even offense anymore. Who knows?
All right, first down for Griswold at their own 33.
Looks like Spurley's back at quarterback again.
Turns around, hands it off to Palillo. He runs over to the left side, gets a first down up to the 45.
So part of the double wing offense here, which Griswold is going into now, is, your running backs have to follow the track. And that's what it's all about. The linemen are blocking on a track. And the goal is not to get outside like you would think. It's to stay on the inside of the track and follow that. And if you get an opportunity to break to the outside or even cut up and go inside, that's what you do. But staying inside is where that's where the positive yardage comes from. And teams in high school football that have run the double wing over the years, I mean, I can think of Fitch in the late 90s. They were just monsters with the double wing, and their linemen weren't huge. They just executed it very well. They had the Carter Twins were running backs back in the day.
Oh, fumble. Picked right back up off the ground, though.
That's 23, Logan Davis in the backfield.
Got it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
So, double wing, it can be effective when blocked well. And, Coach Pete Aubin is the master as far as offensive line coaches are concerned. And, he's somebody, you can see him now. I mean, they're up 20 to 26 points, and he's down there still positively coaching kids. Offense, defense, line, it doesn't matter. Heck of a gentleman, heck of a coach. Can't say enough about him. He's a fun individual to be around. Very funny guy too.
All right, that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. 34-8 with them doing the running clock. It's going to go by fast here. Griswold with a 26-point lead.
So there's a final in Killingly. It's 32-7. Game is over.
They like to lull their opponent to sleep. They let them get some confidence by scoring first, and then they just shut them out the rest of the way.
That's I will say. I mean, they're on a good run. It's
we've been very fortunate in Killingly to have the teams that we've had the past 6-7 years.
And sports are cyclical. I think any sport is really cyclical. So, everybody has ups and downs and rebuilding years, and the thing to do is you just keep on coaching. It's really all you can do.
Palillo is a tough dude to take down. He does not go down easily.
Yeah, he definitely is.
All right, that's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 for Griswold here. Now at the Bassick 48. There was definitely a helmet-to-helmet there, but it wasn't Griswold on Bassick. It was Bassick on Bassick crime there. When they were making the tackle, those guys coming from each side, and you could hear the 2 helmets come together. But it doesn't seem like anybody is worse for the wear on that.
So with the win tonight, Killingly has moved up into number 2 in Class M.
Yeah, they were coming into tonight. There are only 2 undefeated teams left.
2
right?
undefeated, 3 now. Yep, 3. Coginchaug,
Granby, right?
Yep, Coginchaug, Triop, Killingly, and Granby Canton.
Yeah.
Killingly schedule
fumble.
obviously.
But Rubino picks it back up, tries to make something out of it. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up 4th and 3.
Killingly schedule obviously sets up pretty well for them. They had a game that was postponed against East Haven, but they play East Haven, who's winless. They play Montville, who's winless. They play Griswold Wheeler, who is winless at the moment, and then Plainfield, NFA, and Woodstock. So, things line up for them to potentially be another state playoff team again in what really is not a very strong Class M division. Class S and Class L are very strong this year. But, it's all about matchups and how things set up. So you never know. And, you don't get to see a lot of these teams that play.
I was looking at that earlier today, Ted. I was looking at the rankings today, and I saw that, and I kind of went through the schedule like you just did. In the last 2 games of the season, could trip Killingly up.
They could. NFA will give them a little bit of fits, and the sleeper in the ECC is Woodstock. They actually have a Brooklyn kid playing quarterback for them. He's a hell of a quarterback, and they were a point away, a 2-point conversion away from beating NFA earlier in the year, and again, anything's possible. That's the great thing about high school football.
You might remember this. I don't, but I did the game at Woodstock, Griswold, the year that they had that really good running back when Spencer Lockwood was on Killingly.
Yep.
And I can't remember the kid's name, but he wound up playing at Assumption, I believe.
He was tall.
Yeah, 6'3", about 220.
That's right. Yeah, that was actually, I think, my son's freshman year, so it would have been right around 2016, 2017.
Did they just do the center? They just What did they do there? Because the flags are down.
Little false start. And then
the quarterback just stayed and everybody went forward. So.
Yeah, it was weird. You're going to bring it back 5 yards, it looks like, though. But even if, looking in Class S or Class L, you've got 3 state technical school programs in the top 5. It goes without saying. The Thames River Tri-Up is local to us, right? So that's Norwich Tech, Grasso Tech, and St. Bernard. And they're going for their first 5-0 start, I think, in program history. Griswold kid in Seth Cunningham, who's one of their running backs. He's having a great season out there at Tech, and that's another strong team. Be nice to see Griswold and those guys play each other on a year-to-year basis. There's been plenty of Griswold kids and even Killingly kids, up in with Quinnebog. It would be nice to see them play that natural rivalry. And from a size-wise perspective, I think Thames River, I think they're in the 50s with kids, and Griswold's right around 30 or so. I mean, it would be a fantastic game, in my opinion. I'd love to see Thames Valley come into the ECC Small. I think it would be a really competitive season for those guys.
All right, 2nd down and 9 here from the Bassick 43. Handoff to Malave. He gets student body right. He'll get a first down out of that. No flag, so that'll be down to the 31.
Number 22, Gio Malabi on the carry.
I like him. He's a tough little runner, and it'd be nice to know what year he's in. Be nice to see if he was a freshman.
Yeah, we could try to effort that for you guys and see if we can get that information to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wondering if we can maybe even if Mike Minarski's up for it, if we can try to work possibly getting Kyle Kelsler to come up here in the booth after the game and have a few words with him. Who knows? I don't know if Mike has a portable mic, but Mike with the mic.
You can always give him one of our headphones.
And there's
headsets.
Logan Davis.
He's
powering for a touchdown.
Davis for a touchdown. No flags. That'll make it 40-8 Wolverines with 6:28 to go.
So when Logan's a big kid, it is tough to tackle kids like him up top. You cannot tackle above the waist, and that's a prime example of why you got to wrap up and wrap up low. And I'll tell you, you see on camera, it's nice to see a little bit of life and enthusiasm and excitement in the Griswold kids. They've been struggling a little bit, and we talked about this ever since the first game. They're progressing. They're young, and you got a lot of kids that have zero varsity experience, and they're gaining it. And this is a good thing for them.
All right, here we go for the extra point. Well, bad snap. Rubino picks it up. He's going to try to run it in. Makes a cut to the left. He gets in. It looks like 2-point conversion's good.
That is 100% Kincaid Rubino on a great athletic effort.
That'll make it 42-8. Griswold now with a 34-point lead.
So I guess for those of you watching Griswold and not the Red Sox game, apparently Chris Sale just got out of a bases loaded jam, and Kiki Hernandez made an amazing catch for a third out of the inning. So
that guy has been
he's been on fire. Solid.
Unbelievable.
Solid.
He's that kind of spark plug player that you need at the top of your lineup that can pretty much do everything.
Yep. Reminds me a lot of kind of like the Bill Miller type of unexpected postseason type behavior. And beginning of the year, nobody knew any of the Red Sox players except for Chris Sale maybe and a few others, Bogarts and Devers, but a lot of
Devers is so underrated.
Yeah,
he gets no credit for how good of a hitter he is.
A lot of these younger guys have really started to come on, and it just goes to show you how much fun they're having. A guy hits a home run, and they're in the laundry cart going the length of the dugout, just having a blast.
Iglesias said he's now the sole driver for the cart.
Yep, that's right.
He's the chauffeur.
He can't play in the postseason, right? So
he comes home because he started with the Sox.
Yeah, that's right.
Then went to the Tigers, and he was with the Angels last, and then comes back.
I guess I could push a laundry cart around for $15-16 million a year and
sign me up.
Absolutely. I'd just take a 1-year contract. I'd be happy.
All right, here we go. Another Griswold kickoff. That means they've scored.
Let's see if they can get one downfield here. Let's see it. Come on.
There we go.
All right.
Now the Ash picks it up at the 20. He's going to run it to the other side. Opposite direction.
What
nice
a tackle by Ethan
tackle.
Frazier. What a tackle by Frazier. Oh, and you're going to get a penalty on something.
Somebody bump into somebody?
I don't know
taunt
if it
somebody,
if it was something late.
Tackle was made by number 1, Ethan Frazier.
We are soon going to find out.
That I can't see the exact number. Is that 16?
16, yep.
Jackson Fleming.
I guess
Jackson Fleming.
as we were just talking about an outstanding play in the field by Kiki Hernandez, apparently he just hit a solo home run in the top of the third inning.
Seems to happen that way, doesn't it, in baseball?
Yep, solo
Somebody
home
makes
run.
a good defensive play and they come up and do something big at the plate.
448-foot home run by Kiki Hernandez.
Remember when that field was first built and they had the stupid flagpole out in center
Oh
field?
yeah, I
in
know.
play.
Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
whose idea was that? Up a hill.
it's like this flag. It's like this flagpole. It's like this flagpole in the 50-yard line here at Griswold. So it looks like the penalty is on Bassick.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
no,
definitely was
my-
on Bassick.
Oh, was it on Bassick?
No,
it's
it was on
it's-
Griswold.
It's
It was
on
on
Griswold.
Griswold.
Sorry.
Yep.
So we don't know what it is.
It had to be taunting or something
Taunting.
like that.
I mean, he's excited. He made a great tackle, and I'm sure Coach Wilcox will cut him a little bit of slack.
All right, here we go. Bassick. As the clock runs, almost 4 minutes left to go here in the game. Griswold up 42-8. Bassick's going to have the ball at their own 36. There's a snap. Torres runs to his left, cuts up the middle. We gain about 4 or 5. That'll bring up second down. I think the game that really made the statement for the Red Sox this year, just to epitomize kind of how they were as a team, was the game that Sale pitched in the NLC, in the NLDS.
Mm-hmm.
They crank a grand slam off them. They're down 5-2 after the first inning, and they come back to win that game.
To win it. They're a resilient team. They're fun. They're fun to watch. And you just, now with JD Hernandez being hurt, they dropped him down in the lineup. He's hitting either 6 or 7. I mean, nobody else has a JD Hernandez that hits in that spot. And now you're leading right into the bottom of your order. It's amazing.
He twisted his ankle too, right at the end of the season.
Tripping over second base. Yeah. Philly.
Pass down the middle.
Picked up by
Intercepted
Ethan Frazier. He's
Frazier's
going up
running
the
it
left
back down the
sideline.
sideline. Cuts it back to the middle. He's
Oh,
going
he's
all the
cut-
way
here
down
he
the-
goes.
Inside the 30,
Oh.
inside the 25, and he makes it down to the 25-yard line.
So Ethan is a kid that has come a long, long way. And, we used to call him Peanut. And, now he's just a tall, slender kid. He's worked really hard, both sides of the ball. Now he's a senior. And, again, time has gone by so fast. I still remember we played in the Jamboree in Westerly, and Westerly had this big fullback, about 220 pounds. And I'm standing in the secondary coaching in the Jamboree, and Ethan's at safety. And, there was no place to put him. He was small. And I'm like, you're good back here. Don't worry, And next thing you know, this kid goes right up the middle. He's going right at Ethan. Ethan took 4 steps up and just killed him right in the ankles. And it surprised me, a small kid. I mean, he was probably 85 pounds, soaking wet. Not afraid to put his nose in and stick. And now, he's a grown young man and enjoying a senior year here right now with a pick and making some outstanding blocks as well for the run game.
Spurtley hands off. Can't quite see the number there.
It looked like it was 16 again.
All right, so that's Jackson Fleming.
Jackson Fleming on the carry.
Getting some of the younger kids in some game time here with them up by 34 points, 42-8, minute 28 to go here in the game. You were talking. I haven't been able to do any of the games until now because my son plays in the band at Kinley, so they've had games, and I'm trying to support him. He's a junior. It's not going to last forever. So
Right, that's right.
And but you were saying it throughout the night that they've had a lot of players missing to her at the beginning, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as the season goes on.
Yeah, so, they didn't have Kessler to start and Logan Davis. I mean, those are 2 impact players. You notice a difference in Kessler right away. Logan Davis had a great game on defense against New London. Aggressive, big, strong kid. Not having those 2. Josh Turner stepped his game up, had a couple great games. I know he's not on the sidelines tonight. But there's a great core of young talent on this team. One of the things obviously is a glaring need for every single football team is linemen. But, the Griswold has a very successful youth program. They've had that for quite some time. They have 3 undefeated programs right now heading into week 6 or week 7. And, the future is bright. It's a matter of, reestablishing the program and
10 seconds to go.
getting things going again. And,
Jesse Costley got a couple of carries there. One mentioned his name.
Oh, yep.
So if his parents are watching or listening, that's
And the win tonight does just that for Griswold.
and that'll do it.
Yep.
Triple zeros on the clock. 42-8. Griswold wins by 34. Gets their first win of the 2021 season. I absolutely think that there's a potential that both Palillo and Kessler were over 100 yards tonight.
Yeah, it's hopefully somebody. We know the Griswold has a stats guy up top. It would be interesting to see what they came up with. We know that Kessler was over 100 yards, I think, after 2 carries.
Yeah, he had 116 yards in his first 2 carries.
Yeah,
He had a 91-yard TD run to start the game, put them up 6-0. He had a 3-yard TD run to put them up 14-0. 2-point conversion was good. Bassick scored to make it 14-8. So we're like, oh, this might be a game. But then from that point forward, it's been 28 unanswered points by Griswold with a 42-8 win. Kessler also scored on a 1-yard TD run, Palillo on a 5-yard, Palillo on a 16-yard, and Davis on a 33-yard TD run to cap the scoring.
it's a great night for Wolverine football. Homecoming.
You always want to win your homecoming game. That's
Absolutely.
one game every season you're looking forward to. And, quite frankly, a lot of schools will schedule somebody that they're confident that they can beat
Right.
on homecoming. It's a smart thing to do. You want to send the crowd home happy.
And, the Bassick players here, they are headed for the bus very quickly. 9:15, they got to drive to Bridgeport. I'm sure they're
A couple-hour ride home after you take a beating is not the way you want to spend your Friday night. All right, I'm trying to see if Mike is out there. So like we said, maybe we can get somebody up here to interview.
yeah. It's
But I don't see him anywhere, so we might just have to sign off.
And
Yeah, he might be upstairs. I don't know where he is.
the home run was J.D. Martinez. Not
All right,
Kiki
so that'll
Hernandez,
do
by
it
the way.
for SNSN. 42-8, the Wolverines walk away with their first victory of the 2021 season. I'm Kevin Thompson for Ted Koziol, Mike Minarski. This has been Griswold Football on SNSN.
Good evening.